Hey everyone, welcome to Whispers of Turkish Stars. Settle in, because tonight's buzz is louder than a red carpet flashstorm, and it's circling right around one of the most watched couples of the moment. Before we plunge into the whispers swirling from studio corridors to midnight cafe corners, show the channel some love and let's glide straight into the storm that's lighting up timelines and tapping every phone screen in the city. The talk of the town is a single claim that ballooned into a tidal wave: alleged remarks by Mahassine, the elegant partner of heartthrob Cenk, about the internationally beloved Tuba. One spark was all it took. What began as a hush at a dinner table has unfolded into a storyline everyone suddenly thinks they were there to witness. The word spreading through the grapevine is that Mahassine, in private chats with confidants, opened up about Tuba. Comments said to touch on the star's demeanor when the cameras stop rolling, her rhythm on set, and even a few personal boundaries that the press never framed for the public. The claims were never presented on television, never typed out in an interview, and never stamped with an official seal, yet somehow they flew, attaching themselves to headlines that shout tell all, behind the curtain, and exposé. Why is this so electric? Because Mahassine, from day one, has favored a quiet kind of glow. She steps into events in refined tones, glides out with the same poise, and rarely lets the chaos of the rumor mill touch her. With Cenk, the image is a steady flame rather than fireworks. Calm dinners, tasteful appearances, no dramatic speeches. That is precisely why whispers that she revealed anything remotely incendiary about Tuba have stunned even the most jaded gossip watchers. The question that's tipping across every feed is simple but loaded: if she did speak candidly, what finally tipped the scales? Some say this is the residue of old frictions. Not a feud, not a headline scuffle, more like a constellation of awkward moments strung together over time. Overlapping circles, mutual collaborators, the same premieres and charity evenings, the same designers, even similar film festivals. Two stars who don't collide outright can still cast long shadows in each other's spaces. There's talk about a past project that nearly intersected, a scheduling shuffle that left a ripple, a fleeting glance backstage that read cooler than expected. All hearsay, all stitched from memory and imagination. And yet, the stitching is what captivates the audience. Meanwhile, Tuba, famous for guarding her private world and letting the work speak, has gone characteristically quiet. No public defense, no retort, not even a line tucked into a caption. It's a silence that her admirers recognize as her signature approach to noise. For some fans, that calm is proof she won't fuel the fire. For others, silence is a magnifying glass. One moment on social media you'll find a brigade defending her with meticulous references to colleagues who adore her. In the next moment, you'll see comments that say the oldest phrase in the handbook: where there's smoke, there must be a spark. The city is split between those who demand receipts and those who believe none will ever be produced. The mechanics of the rumors spread are a story by themselves. What's circulating is that Mahassine confided not to cameras but to friends that the alleged remarks were stitched together across different nights, different rooms, and different retellings. One person shares a detail in a car ride, another adds a flourish at a stylist's station, a third folds in a memory from a backstage hallway. The words mutate mid-flight. On Monday, someone insists she described Tuba as meticulous to the point of tension. By Wednesday, that metamorphoses into a claim about fierce professionalism that can freeze a room. Nothing pinned down, everything echoing. The ripple effect multiplies, and suddenly it's not a spill of tea, it's a flood. There's also the halo that surrounds Cenk, who has built a career on being disarmingly steady. The man who walks like he knows 10 different ways out of an argument has posted nothing that implies storm clouds. A candid photo, a quiet thank you to a crew, a line about gratitude and craft. He's present without being provocative, and that very restraint is ammunition for two opposing interpretations. His admirers call it maturity. Skeptics call it artful silence. The couple's image, glossy but grounded, would normally repel the stickiness of rumor. This time, though, curiosity dug its nails in. As for the alleged content, all the talk circles the same triad. First, whispers about off-camera demeanor, how Tuba greets a room, how she manages the pressure when the set's clock is breathing down her neck. Second, comments on her working style, focused to the point of rigidity, or focused like a surgeon, depending on who is telling the tale. Third, a suggestion that boundaries around her private life are like velvet ropes. Not rude, just firm, and enforced with a kind of elegant distance. None of this, if true, would be scandal in a legal sense. It is gossip in the purest arena: personality, tone, the microscopic theater of long days and longer nights when a scene refuses to land. What complicates things is the reputation Mahassine has cultivated since stepping into the spotlight beside Cenk. She does not chase controversy. She does not litigate every rumor. She is measured, observant, and, by all public metrics, private. So if a remark slipped out, it would likely be the steam of a long-capped kettle rather than an explosion for show. That's the narrative that many columnists are leaning into. Old slights, old misunderstandings, the kind that no one noticed building until one evening in a living room they finally floated to the surface in the form of frank sentences. It's the oldest story in celebrity circles. What feels like a whisper can sound like a shout when the door opens. And yet the industry is trained for this. Publicists have a sixth sense for timing. Managers weigh the angles. Friends send both voice notes and flowers. The smartest strategy, in episodes like this, is often to do nothing publicly, and that strategy appears to have been chosen by all sides. No statements, no denials, no carefully worded to clarify paragraphs. Each hour of that shared silence is another click in the pocket of the rumor's momentum. People project onto an empty stage. An unanswered question becomes a billboard. Step behind the curtain and you can almost see it. A birthday dinner where the clink of glasses cloaks a delicate comment. A charity gala where two starlets cross the same marble floor and exchange a look that is either chilly or simply tired, it depends on who is narrating. A makeup chair where the talk shifts toward work ethic, then swerves away as if the air itself cautions restraint. From these fragments, a narrative forms. The city builds its story the way costumers build a gown, scrap by shining scrap, until the seams hold. Tuba's supporters point to years of praise from directors and crews. They mention the awards, the international standing, the clips where she laughs with colleagues like old friends. Mahassine's defenders counter with her track record of discretion, her cool refusal to throw sparks for the sake of a headline, the way she protects her home life like a treasured heirloom. It becomes a debate about credibility, and credibility, in the court of public opinion, is not a ledger you can audit. It is a feeling maddeningly slippery, easily swayed by a caption, a photo, or the absence of both. There's a theory that the alleged remarks weren't negative at all, merely unvarnished. A tone that played as candid among friends can harden into harshness when repeated by a third or fourth voice. This is how gossip matures. It starts as a portrait sketched in pencil and is retold as if it were carved in marble. The choice of verbs, the rise and fall of a storyteller's voice, a single eyelid lowered at the right moment, by the time it reaches a headline, the nuance is gone. And nuance, in a business built on image, is everything. Another theory making the rounds is that someone outside the inner circle packaged those half-heard comments for drama. This is where the phrase exposé gained traction. The word itself is gasoline. It suggests secret ledgers and hidden corridors, even if the substance is only an observation that a top-tier star protects her time. The more the word circulates, the more oxygen accelerates the fire, until anyone scrolling past thinks the night's big revelation has already happened, and only they are late to the party. Amid all this, notice what has not occurred. There has been no face-off. No live broadcast zone with jabs, no late-night dispatches with sharp edges. In a landscape where impulsive posts can detonate within minutes, the players in this story are navigating with caution. That choice is its own message. It says, we will ride out the chatter. It says, the work is the point. It says, let the tide recede and we'll still be standing. Whether that patience cools the blaze or simply concentrates it remains to be seen. For now, the headline remains the same: alleged private remarks by Mahassine Marabet about Tuba Bayakustan, amplified by retellings and delivered to the public as a hazy mirror that reflects whatever each viewer brings to it. The reason it holds the spotlight is not because anyone broke ranks or marched to war. It holds the spotlight because it is deliciously human to wonder what is said in rooms where cameras are banned. You can measure the power of a star not only by the audience they gather, but by the attention paid to the spaces just outside their light. If there is truth in any of the whispers, it will emerge via the oldest routes in show business. A tempered statement, a reflective interview, or the simplest gesture of all, two people photographed in the same place, smiling as if the noise never lodged between them. If there is no truth, time will do what it always does to flimsy scaffolding. It will pull at the joints until the construct folds. In the meantime, the city hums. Stylists pass their own theories over curling wands, drivers trade bullet point versions between sets, assistants draft responses their bosses may never post. Cenk remains the steady center of the carousel, giving nothing away and yet reminding everyone why his name draws attention without a single provocation. Mahassine continues her poise, visible but unshaken. Tuba sustains her quiet and moves as though the chatter were a distant radio playing only static. Three figures, each a study in restraint, allowing the audience to compose the missing soundtrack. It is oddly elegant, this silence, even as it keeps the rumor alive. So here we are, at the close of tonight's murmur. Did Mahassine Marabet truly open up about Tuba Bayakistan in those private rooms? Were the sentences sharp or simply honest? Did the passage from one storyteller to the next turn a shrug into a saga? Until someone close steps forward on record, we are left with the same shimmering outline that kept this city abuzz all week. One sentence can charge the air for days. One glance can tilt 1,000 speculations. And sometimes, the stories that last the longest are the ones no one officially tells. That's the picture for now. Keep your ears to the ground and your eyes on the feeds, because the moment a confirmed word lands, you know we'll be right here to unwrap it with you. This has been Whispers of Turkish Stars, where the night's softest rumors become the next day's conversation. If you enjoyed the ride, tap subscribe, share the intrigue, and stay close. Because in this town, the next whisper is already on its way.